What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez. We are back. I am back. We're back for another day. Another live stream, another player prop talk here on the channel. Friday, March 15th, 2024. Already halfway through the month. Shit's crazy. I really feel like last week it was New Year's Eve. We're rolling into a new year. It's crazy how quickly time flies. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope this stream finds you in good spirits on this Friday morning. What's going on, Damien? First in the chat, appreciate you being here. 6 viewers on the stream. Hit that like button on your way in, even if you can only stick around for a few minutes. Drop a question in the chat. I'll get to it. I'll do my best to get to all the questions today. Good morning, Carrie. Let's eat. What are we eating today? I had a nice omelet this morning. I had my first day off of my routine yesterday. 33 days straight. My first cycle of just eating clean, counting the macros, no ordering on DoorDash, none of that stuff. 6 to 7 days working. I got my whole routine, and yesterday was my first day off just to give myself a bit of a break, and I ate a lot of food. And surprisingly, I woke up so hungry this morning. But every once in a while, I think it's important to just give into some of those indulgences and you get right back on track. Today, I'm right back on track. Nice omelet this morning. Egg white omelet. Feeling good. Tons of coffee. Let's go. I'm ready to roll. Let's get this going. As you, if you're new to the stream here, I should say, hit the like button on your way in. But welcome to the stream. Definitely drop a question in the chat. Let me know you're new in the chat. I'll move your question up to the front of the list because I want to make sure I'm getting the newbies in there. But if you are a returning customer, returning member, a repeat offender, I say welcome back. As we always start off every live stream, #blessed. Over 10% of the U.S. population dies in their sleep. That's about as simple as it is. People just die for no reason. Just die in their sleep. Sometimes for a reason. You are not one of those people. If you're on this stream, you're on the other side of the 10%. So you are blessed. #blessed. What you choose to do with your day is up to you. You've been given a day. You make of it what you want. Let's get into some turds of the day. Turds of the day. Who messed up our slips yesterday? Who messed it up? I almost dropped the F-bomb. I might drop one later on in the stream, but not so quick into the stream. Who messed up the slip yesterday? I'm curious to know. Who was that player prop for you? What's going on, JR? Good morning to you. Chad, what's going on? Chorizo egg tacos. Nice, man. You making those yourself or what? You got somebody making them for you? You got a chef coming over in the morning? What's the process like? Yeah, Carrie, I was Thursday. So full transparency, Thursdays I started doing this really awesome group workout in Austin. It's a men's group. It's super empowering, but it's like these circuit workouts. And yesterday was my second workout every Thursday morning, and so it's something I really want to fit into my days. So being able to do that on a Thursday morning, it's really cool. It's something I've never tried before, and they're badass workouts. I basically can knock out my whole day's worth of calories in a workout. Like I have this calorie goal that I'm trying to burn every day. You do that in one workout. It's amazing. So that's where I was yesterday morning, and by the time I get back, I'm 100% exhausted mentally, physically, a little bit emotionally too, and it's a great day to just kind of regroup and reset. And then I'm back on Friday and ready to do it. And Saturday we'll do a live stream to make up for Thursday. So that's probably what we'll be doing moving forward. But yeah, I'll be off the stream on Thursday mornings, just kind of taking care of some workout needs. Chad says, I wish, make them myself. Oh, you're in Katy, man. What's up? Yeah, awesome. Nice. I'm from Houston, so I mean I'm in Austin right now, but I grew up in Houston. That's cool. JR says turd of the day, Dame Lillard only lost in a 10-leg parlay. You ran a 10-leg parlay. Damn. That's dope. Turd of the month, Freaky Friday. Let's get this back. Oh no, top of the morning. I thought you were saying Fridays have been your turd. I'm like, damn, Fridays, the whole day is a turd. Damn, JR. Let it unfold. Let it unfold first. No, I got you. I got you. That acronym threw me off a little bit. What's going on, DF the God? Oh, nice, man. We got some H-Town love in here. What side of town? Where'd you grow up? Carrie says she needed the Wizards to win to hit on her parlay. I'll hit on the parlay. You took the Wizards over the. I mean, that game was fun. I mean, the Rockets pulled away, but it was pretty much what I thought it would be. A nice little back and forth game. Jalen Green goes off. I mean, the Rockets won by 16 points, but I mean, I don't really consider that a blowout, especially when the other team is running over 115 points themselves. It's, blowout to me is team doesn't barely reach 100 points, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, we have a blowout? Let me just roll through the scores real quick. 15-point game in Boston, 15-point game in LA or in Chicago, 9-point game in Milwaukee, 16-point game. Yeah, there were some double-digit lines, but nothing like we've been seeing in the past where teams are getting down by 25, 30 points by halftime. I mean, I'll take this kind of slate all day long. What's going on, Adam? Good morning. Yee, what is going on? Yeah, they did play like trash. Especially, who was I looking at on the Wizards initially? And then I backed. It was Kuzma. I was looking at Kuzma's PRA yesterday at 36.5. I was like, man, that feels a little high. But oh my God, this is kind of like one of those games where he could just take over because the Rockets, can be that team sometimes. They're a better team at home, but he didn't even get 30 PRA. So it's a new day though. We move on. My turd of the day. Let's see. Honestly, I had a really decent day yesterday. I played on Sleeper. I played on HOTSTREAK. I played on Underdog. I played on PrizePicks. I profited on all the sites. My 3-pick slip on Underdog hit. If you watch my YouTube short, Jalen Williams goes over threes. Crowder goes over threes. I also added Brunson's first quarter points in there. That hit for 6x. PrizePicks, had a few slips that doubled up. I took the under on Bradley Beal's fantasy points like an idiot, and that was my only leg in that six pick that didn't hit. And I got a couple of power plays in there, so I didn't really have a turd of the day. Josh Giddey, I put Josh Giddey in my cheat sheet twice for rebounds and assists. And at halftime, he had 3 boards, and he had 3 boards, and he had 6 RA, something like that. He needed 12 RA. And I went to sleep, and I thought, oh, I'm for sure gonna wake up, and he's gonna have that shit, right? Finish with 3 rebounds and 8 rebounds and assists. Didn't even come close. So I guess he can be my turd of the day. F that guy. What's going on, Darrell? Good morning. Darrell's another. Darrell, are you in Houston? Are you in H-Town? We're getting some H-Town love in here. DF the Gods in H-Town. Chads and Katie. What's going on, Knuckles? What's going on? All right, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on. 13 viewers on the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit that like button on your way in. It's never too late in the stream to drop your turd of the day. So continue to drop those turds. No pun. But we got to move on to the next to the next slide and talk about some injury news going on in the NBA. Don't get bit by the injury bug. Don't be that guy or gal who puts a player in your lineup that's impacted by injury news on the team. So make sure you're always up to speed on that injury news. What's going on? Divine, good morning to you. Southwest, SWAT. I don't know how to read that. What is SWAT, Darrell? Why do I think that's Southwest? I don't know what I'm doing here. Green Day for Knuckles, so he ain't tripping. That's awesome, man. Where'd you play? Where do you play, Knuckles? Sports books, pick'em sites, TX Coach. Oh, nice. Getting some Texas love in here. All right. Injury news. Yes, injury news. So let's talk about some injury news. We got, hey, I know everybody was on pins and needles, right? Garrett Temple's in. So, Garrett Temple's in today. So we can wipe that sweat off your brow. Oh, I know we were holding our breath for that one. Questionable. Cade Cunningham is questionable. Gary Trent. Jalen Johnson's probably going to play today. Taylor Hendricks probably going to play today. Bogdanovich. Taylor Hendricks in the lineup today if he is playing, and Walker Kessler's also in. What does that do to the upside for John Collins? If Jalen Johnson's in, what does that do for the upside of Clint Capella, who's been on a nice little roll here, grabbing boards? With Jalen Johnson in the lineup, it's a bit of a different game log. We do know who was already out. RJ Barrett's been confirmed out. Quentin Grimes, All-Star Thompson is out. Chris Boucher, Sadiq Bey is out for the year. When players are out for the year, they shouldn't even list them as out. Like, they're gone. They're done. Like, Zach LaVine's not on this list. Like, Lonzo Ball's not on this list. Like, those guys are out. We know they're out. Jordan Clarkson's out in Utah. And Chris Dunn also. So there's your injury report for Friday, March 15th. This will change. This will definitely change. So make sure you are glued. Maybe not glued. Just make sure you're up to speed on all the injury news. As we move into our plays for today, Friday, March 15th. If you're new to the stream, then welcome. I appreciate you being here. What we do here is a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but to be a little bit more specific, we talk about player props. We talk about player props on PrizePicks. We can talk about player props on any pick'em site you want. We're going to use props.cash to break everything down so that by the end of the stream, your questions will be answered and you'll have deeper insight as to what plays are good, what plays maybe not so good, what plays to fade, what plays to put in your slips. Hopefully this stream helps you in your researching process. As I try to get to as many questions as I can in the chat, throw a question in the chat. If you're new in the chat, not new to the stream, just new to the chat, let me know. I'll make sure I get to your question. I'll move it up the list. That's my promise to you. As always, all of our researching is done using props.cash. There is my promo code. Use it. Receive 25% off your first month on props.cash. It is that easy. If you've never used props.cash before, that's totally cool. We're going to use it together in this stream. You'll get to see it done in real time. And if you like what you see, you like how it works, then you can sign up whenever you want. All right, we got the PrizePicks board pulled up on the screen. We're going to start on PrizePicks, but any player prop you want me to look into, put in the chat where you're playing it. Is it PrizePicks? Is it Sleeper? Wherever. We can look it up, look at all the information on props.cash, but just let me know where you're playing it so that way we can save ourselves the search if it's not on PrizePicks. All right. 18 viewers on the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Knuckles plays on PrizePicks. Southwest A-Leaf, Texas. How did I not know that? You grew up around that part, Darrell? Did you go to Elsick? Hastings? Divine says, oh, you dropped You dropped 500 yesterday, man. On what? On who? Who? Jimmy's points. Jokic triple double. Wemby points. Oh, Shay won you. Shay won you a little scratch. A little Skrilla. Oh, Hastings. Nice. Nice. I had a friend in middle school. We grew up on the other side of Houston. His ass lied and put his grandma's address so he could be zoned at Hastings because he said the girls were he was like, the girls look better in A-Leaf, so I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go to Hastings so I can like pull all these girls. I was like, that was a long ass bus ride. He caught like the Metro 2 for like 45 minutes, like every morning. It's like, dude, you're crazy. Just to get some girls' phone numbers. All right. Shit we used to do as kids. We could probably have a whole stream about that. All right. Divine was the first in the chat. Correct to put a play in there. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Let me just double check here. Think so. All right. I tell you what, let's pull two from this list. Let's see. We can't pull a triple double for Jokic on PrizePicks. Let's take a look at Jimmy. Let's take a look at Jimmy and Wemby, because I know Wemby's threes. I saw those being talked about earlier this morning. Unfortunately, they're not on PrizePicks. Of course not. Why would they be? They're too good of a player prop. 1.5 threes is his prop, I think. And then Jimmy's points. Divine, I don't know if you want to look at these for the over or under. So we're just gonna put over for now. Let's see. Keontae George over 18 and Keontae, right? Keontae. Why do I keep saying Keontae? That's a wine. It's a red wine. Maybe that is how you say it. I feel like I'm saying it wrong though. Keontae George. All right. I say a lot of shit wrong. All right, 18.5 points. I think it's just my accent. Especially when I get out of Texas. Like when I was in Boston, man, I stuck out. People were like, where are you from? You're not from here. Like, nope. I would lie to people sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, born and raised. And watch their eyebrows wrinkle and shit. Like, what? Yeah, I grew up in Boston. You don't hear it? Yeah, all day. What else we got? Under points and assist, LQ. What else? Who is DM, Divine? Who is DM? All right. Here's I don't know if it's still up on PrizePicks. And I'm not looking at Jamal Murray's points because it's not even that popular of a play. But if I'm already looking at a player prop and it just so happens to be a popular play, I don't mind. But I definitely don't go searching the popular plays for plays. You know what I'm saying? Like if my research takes me there, then that's one thing. Colin Sexton's points were at 21.5 on PrizePicks about 3 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. Been bumped up to 23. I featured him in my YouTube short on Underdog at 22.5. His shit's gonna get bumped up. I just wanted to see if it was still gonna be a good spot. I mean, you can still play it at 23 if you want, but it's been bumped up twice already. Biggest opposition. What is going on? Divine. DeJounte Murray, come on, bro. I was like, DeMar DeRozan, DM, DeMar. I was like, who is DM? Man, I got to get better with my player prop initials. Yeah, DeJounte Murray. Is he not on the board? He is off the board, dude. He's off the board. Biggest opposition, Butler at 21.5 points on sleeper and underdog. Nice. Nice call there. Yeah, play multiple pick'em sites. Please look for different lines. Shop around. Don't play the higher line if you don't have to. Yeah, if you like Butler's points at 22.5, when we break it down, then you're gonna have to like it at 21. That's a given. Okay. Let's see. We got Wimby. Yeah, Divine doesn't play on PrizePicks because PrizePicks yanked those services away from New York. A lot of northeast states and cities can't play PrizePicks. All right, let's do this, guys. We got 4 player props on the board. You guys can keep putting these in the chat, but for now we got 4. We're gonna take them over to props.cash so we can start breaking everything down, and then we'll come back, and then we're just gonna rinse and repeat. If you're new to the stream, this is what I do. We rinse and repeat the player props. We grab some, we take them back over. We grab some, take them back over, and until we hit our hour plus mark. Try to get through as many of these as I can. Brandon Ingram assist. We'll throw that in there too, DF. We'll throw that in there too. Brandon Ingram assist. Now, I was looking at his assist on underdog earlier today. I believe that's where I saw it first, and I didn't even check to see if it was on PrizePicks. It is at 5.5 on PrizePicks. All right, cool. So I just added it to our board. Coach, a lot of people in the Discord yesterday were talking about PrizePicks not working. There was an update. I didn't know there was an update. I don't even know what happened, how I knew. I think it just popped up on my screen that there was an update available. I didn't go looking for it, and there was an update, and then that was about it. So maybe that's the reason. Maybe it needs to be updated on your phone. Let's take a look at Ingram's points real quick. Excuse me. Let's take a look at Ingram's assists real quick. Well, if you want to take a look at his points, they're right there. But we're going to take a look at his assists because his assists have been pretty consistent over the last 10 games. Now on the season, he's averaging 5.8 assists, which is 6. Over his last 10 games, he's also averaging 6. And over his last 5 games, he's averaging 6.4. So a little bit over his season average, but not too much to the point where he's playing over his head. Head-to-head games against the Clippers. This year, he does have 3 games to look at. He's gone over in 1. He hooked it in 1, and then he went well under in 1. Projection today is 6.5 assists. The odds are in favor of the over on all 5 of these books. So that's a good sign. If you want to take it a step further and add another data point to your researching process, we could take a look at what small forwards have done versus the Clippers this year in terms of dishing. DeRozan goes under, Torrey Craig. There are a lot of reserves in these stats. They are what they are. So we can just pay attention to starters or players getting, 25 plus minutes, 30 plus minutes. So DeMar goes over, DeMar goes under, Anderson goes over, but then the game before, DeMar DeRozan goes over. Dylan Brooks goes over. That's a very low line for him, but he is a starter. Denny Avia goes over his line. LeBron James. And then you can see these guys down here. Super low assist lines. Not really known, for distribution. So I would say the most part, you're seeing quite a few green checks. But you're also seeing quite a few X's on those reserve players. All in all, I think Ingram's in a good spot today versus the Clippers. This is a home game for him over his last 10 home games. If you want to take it that route, excellent game logs where he's gone over in 80% of those 10 games at home, 80% of his last 5 games at home as well. So that one looks good. Let's take a look at this Jamal Murray point prop. I liked it, and then Divine wants to know thoughts on the 21.5 points for Jamal Murray. So this is going to get bumped up to 22. As long as it's at 21 somewhere, play it at 21. It's at 21 points on PrizePicks. We just saw it. It was at least when I looked at it this morning at 21 on Underdog. It's at 22 now on Underdog. So PrizePicks is offering you the lower line. You can see how different the odds are at 22.5 versus 21. At 22, it's going to be in favor of the over, but at 22.5, you see those odds start to flatten out. But DraftKings, Caesars, and BetMGM, all three giving you not plus odds, giving you odds in favor of the over. Over his last 5, there you go. Over his last 5, he's gone over in 3. Over his last 10, he's gone over in 6. And in his head-to-head matchup this year, well, he doesn't have any games this year to look at. Projected for 22. You can round that up to 23, 22.5. You can round it up. Projections look good. Game logs look good. Odds are in favor as at 21.5. This is a good one. I like it. Ingram, Murray. Let's look at George. Actually, let's look at Wemby while we're in here. Wemby's points. Now, if you can find his 3-point prop, I don't know where you're going to find his 3-point prop, to be honest with you. You can find his 3-point prop on HOTSTREAK at 1.5, 1.52x payout. Not the best payout, but it's there. At 1.35, he's giving you minus 158 odds. Not he's giving you, but the odds are in favor of the over. One game this year, early on in the year, he did go for 2 threes, which is good. He has 6 straight games going over his threes, and then he has 5 straight games going over this. Why are we looking at his threes? Because his threes are in a good spot, and if you like his overall points, threes are going to contribute to the overall total, right? So when we look at his game points at 21.5, that's also on HOTSTREAK, 1.77x payout on this one. 3 out of his last 5 games, he's gone over. 6 out of his last 10, he's gone over head-to-head. So that one game against Denver back in November, he went over threes, and he went over points. Let's just do a quick check. So in the past 5 games, he's gone over points. In those same 5 games, is he also going over threes? Yes. They're correlated. So if you can play his threes and points, that's kind of a nice little ladder there. Projected for 21.51, which is basically, you can round it up to 22. It's right there on the line, though, so it's not like a huge bump up. But nobody in the NBA, I don't care how good you are, can score exactly 21.5 points. So it's got to be over or under. So we're going to favor the over on this one because that's what the numbers are telling us. And then when you look at his odds on his threes, you can see pretty strong odds. When you take a look at the odds on his points, not as strong odds, but it's a bigger number. So you're going to get odds in favor of the over on FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, and PointsBet. Caesars is giving you slight juice to the under. So Wemby's in a good spot today too. Minutes were dicey for a while, right? We were seeing him play under 30 for a good stretch, and I think that's over. So as long as he'll be in the lineup, number 1, number 2 on the floor for 30 plus, he's in a good spot to go for 20 plus points every game. Now let's talk about George in Utah. So wow, they got Colin Sexton's points at 23.5. Where? Everywhere. BetMGM still has it at 21.5. Man, look at these numbers though. It got bumped up so fast. That's crazy. All right, George, 18.5 points on PrizePicks. DraftKings and BetMGM both have it at 18.5, but then they have it at -120 and -110. So the odds are not in complete favor of the over, but they're there. Again, no Clarkson today, no Chris Dunn, no Lauri Markkanen. You got a lot of players that are out, and George has been stepping up. Last 5 games, 4 out of 5 games. He scored no points. And really, this game against Washington, did he get hurt? He's projected for 20 points today. Last 5 games. Last 10 games. Sample size without Jordan Clarkson. The sample size without Jordan Clarkson for Colin Sexton is pretty strong. Not so much for George, but early on in the year, you know, he wasn't. This is not the same guy. I mean, rookies get better as the year goes on, so it's not surprising to see this compared to that. He's in a good spot because your backcourt is so thin right now without Clarkson and Dunn. Just by default, he's in a good spot. 18.5 is a good number. All right. Last play on this list, I believe, was Jimbo. Any other plays y'all want to look at for Miami and Detroit? This is a road game for Miami. We're looking at the over Jimmy Butler's points at 22.5 on PrizePicks, but you're seeing him on different books at 21.5. Jamal Murray just got bumped up to 22 points. If you got that in at 21, then you avoided the bump. Let's take a look at it at 21. Basically, it's at 21.5 on every book except FanDuel. So let's just take a look at what DraftKings has. BetMGM and PointsBet also have it at the same line. Gone over in 50% of his last 10, but just 40% of his last 5. Projected today for 23 points. Numbers against the Detroit Pistons. He has absolutely ruled the roost. But this season specifically, he has 2 games played, 1 game over, 1 game under. On the road this season, Jimmy Butler over his last 10 road games, 50% and 40%. So identical numbers overall road, you know, at home. We're seeing a slightly better percentage for him. He bumps up to 60% when he's at home. So on the road, we're not looking at the same scoring output for him. So if you want to look at that as a negative and say, maybe he gets you 22, but not 23. But at 21, I think 21 is in place. 21.5 is in place. So if you can play that at 21.5, that's your best line. At 22.5, now he needs 23. The road game versus home game split is in favor of the under. You got a little bit more to think about with that one. All right. Oh, shit. I wish I could play sportsbooks, JR. Okay. 5 up and 5 down. Wemby points, Butler. Oh. Let's leave it over. Nah, fuck that. I'm going to go under on this 22.5. George over, Ingram over. Jamal Murray at 22. Jamal Murray at 22. It doesn't make a huge difference, right? Because at 21.5, he needs 22 to get the over. But At 22, he pushes. Now he needs 23. This is going to get bumped up again. So it's not even done. Unless you feel, when his line was at 21.5, unless you feel that he was just going to get you 22 and stop scoring, unless you feel that was his ceiling, then you still want to play it at 22 because he's probably in line for 23 or more. But if you feel like, damn, that's pushing it, 22, I don't know about 22, then you stay away or go play the under where they have it at 22.5. All right, let's screenshot these. I'll throw these over in the Discord. Also, if you're new to the stream, welcome. Hit the like button on your way in. But I screenshot these plays. I throw them in our Discord. And that way you can go and look at these whenever you want. And if you don't have time to research anything, you see 20 plus player props in the Discord that have already been researched for you. And you can just pick and choose from there. And that way you can save some time on your research. So you're welcome in advance. Let's clear this out. Let's move into a second round. What did I miss? Got Brandon Ingram's assist. Coach, is your PrizePicks back up and running? Divine says Trey Jokes over Trey Jokes PRA. I don't know if you meant to write Trey Jokes, but that is that's pretty funny. 17.5. I like Trey Jokes. I like Trey Jokes. All right. So you got Trey Jones pulled up here at 17.5. What other player props do we have to go on? Let us also, we could do a couple of different things here. So the first thing we can do is take a look at, I haven't done this in a while, but what we can do is take a look at the Odds Shopper Pick'em table. So this will give you a very high level view of player props across the market, not specific to any site, but just what's grading out the best in terms of win percentage or win rate and the EV. So you're going to see a lot of different plays. You got soccer, you have your EPL, NBA, NCAA. So your first NBA play on the board is Gary Trent under 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. What I like about this table also is that it'll give you, as whatever this line, whatever sports book this line is also on, it'll show you what the odds are on that book. So you have DraftKings, you have Hard Rock, you have Fliff, you have Pinnacle. I don't know what this one is. That little T, I should know it, but I don't. But this gives you a really good idea as to what's going into this player prop and what other books are seeing. So Gary Trent under 22.5 PRA. Quickly under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The books are really down on the Raptors today versus the Magic, and it's a tough matchup for them. I think that 36 is a little high for Quickly. I know what he can do. I know what he's been doing, but he hasn't been playing the Magic every game either. So that one stood out to me. Clint Capella right there under 25.5. Kawhi Leonard scares the shit out of me taking the under on his points. But that just gives you a great idea of what all the other books are seeing. So I love tables like this because you may not even realize how good of a value you have with a player prop until you drop down the box and see what books also like it. And when you have 6-7 of the other sports books that are running this line at the under as well, it does give you some confidence. like Pinnacle over here, minus 145 to the under on Bam's rebounds. Now maybe you just don't want to take the under on Bam, but just as an example, this shows you what everybody else thinks about it too. All right. I'm not gonna lie, I like the under on the Gary Trent 22.5 PRA and the Quickly 22.5 PRA. Or excuse me, Quickly 36.5 PRA. I tell you what, if Quickly was at 22.5 PRA, I'd slam the over on that shit so fast. But at 36, it's a bit of a bump. That's a bit of a jump. So that's just a little bit extra on the pick'em table. Knuckles says his sleeper is down. What's going on, Jim? The Judge, good morning. Salute and blessings to you as well. Coach Carter rebounds and Darrell Gary Harris 3-pointers made. Wendell Carter rebounds and Gary Harris. Wendell Carter, that one of my favorite songs as a kid was Mr. Wendell by Arrested Development. I didn't even like it because it was like, I just thought it was a funny song to me. Every time that song came on, I liked listening to it. It just made me laugh. My favorite Arrested Development song is, oh my God, I can't even think of the damn name. But Arrested Development was really underrated. All right, we got Gary Harris over 3-pointers made. We got Wendell Carter over rebounds. Trey Jones over PRA. We're going with some overs in this one. Oh, had to do with the Harden refund pie day. How about that being a turd? How about if you didn't have a turd yesterday, the James Harden situation, just the way that was handled and the way that was processed was kind of a turd, right? I heard people getting the straight refund on their slips. I got credit for the win. They just gave him 5 points and that helped me cash out a couple of slips. But other people were saying that they were getting refunded. I don't know what the difference was between slip over slip. And then people's prize picks were just like crashing. Running a promo on a player who doesn't play is about as shitty as it gets, to be honest. Tennessee, yeah, that's what it is, David. Yeah, David Watlington, good morning to you. Tennessee, hell yeah, that is a great song. I'm going to listen to that today. I might work out to that song today. Darrell says, look at Kelly Olynyk's PR at 19. We like the under or over on that one. I'm assuming we like the over on this. Wait, it's PR, not PA, right? I'll leave it as over, and then we'll change it if we need to. Coach says his was refunded and taken away, now freezes. That shit ain't cool. Over, gotcha. All right, we got the over on that. All right. Trey Jones over, Carter over, Harris over, Olynyk over. Let's take a quick look at the popular plays. If you have not checked these out, then let's just scroll through. We got Clint Capella's rebound, still a very popular play at 11. At 10.5, I definitely saw the logic in there. But if Jalen Johnson's back, we're seeing a bit of a different game log for Clint Capella with Johnson in the lineup. Cade Cunningham's assist, he's questionable today. I don't know if he sits or not, so I don't really know about this one. Murray was I wonder how popular he'll be now that he got bumped up to 22. But at 21.5, you can see he was in there. Let's see what else. Sexton still in there at the 23. Banchero, I believe, was at 21.5 points on Sleeper earlier this morning. I don't know if he's still available at 21.5 points on Sleeper, but that was a really good line for him. All right. Oh, there's Gary Harris way down at the bottom. All right, cool. This one is popular, the Jalen Johnson assist. I looked at it and I couldn't figure out why this one was favored for the over. But it's there. Zion RA over 11.5, unless it got bumped up to 12. All right, let's take these plays. Let's see, who can we group up? We can group up Carter, Harris, Olynyk, and Jones's ISO, and then Zion's ISO. All right, cool. Let's do it. We're already on this Denver-San Antonio game, so let's take a look at Trey Jones' PRA. Stands at 17.5. Right? 17.5. 17.5 is where it is. FanDuel has it at 18.5. DraftKings and PointsBet see it the same way. Caesars sees it at 125, and BetMGM minus 105 to the under, but 125 to the over. Projected for 22.3 PRA versus the Nugs. One game this year, he got you 20 at the beginning of the year. Over his last 10 games, 70% hit, and 5 games, 80% hit rate. I don't think it matters too much if Wembanyama's in or out for his. I would think it helps him if Wemby's in. 60 and 60 in games played without Wemby, with Wemby. I'm sorry, with Wemby. And then let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it's better actually without Wemby. I thought just because the assist would help him with Wemby in, but either way, he's still producing, and the line is still pretty low. Odds are in favor. Line hasn't been bumped up yet. It's possible this one does get bumped up. His minutes look good over his last 5 games. 10 games also look good. He's giving you almost 30 in each game. Doesn't take a ton of shots a game. I mean, these are outlier games. Anything over 7 looks to be something out of the norm. But his percentage is high. If he takes 10 shots, he's going to knock down 6, right? If he takes 15 shots, he's going to knock down 8. 3-point percentage is pretty strong as well. In these games, he's, 75%. Some pretty good percentages here for him. I don't see anything wrong with this one. Again, we can do the blowout thing if you want, but we can say that for a lot of games. A lot of games don't blow out that you think, and then games that we think are going to stay close end up being done at halftime. So if we just exclude that and just focus on the numbers, everything looks good for him. 17.5 is doable. All right, Zion over rebounds and assists, sitting at 11.5. I thought about this one earlier because I talked about him in Wednesday's underdog video. I took the over on his assist and he got 1. And I was like, man, what better time to go to a player than right after they, let you down. So minus 138 to the over on this one. He's averaging 13 in his last 10, 13.2 in his last 5. games played against the Clippers. He does have 2-3 games to look at. He's gone over in 1. Now, I don't believe that his RA was 11.5 in this game. It's possible he went over this. Maybe his RA was 9.5 or 10.5. It's possible he went over in this one. He definitely cleared it here. PointsBet likes this one way more than the other books. You can see these odds with no juice to the under. -135, -127. But for the most part, even if there is a little juice to the under, all 5 of these books have this hovering around that 130 or higher mark. At home, he's averaging 12 at home over his last 10. He's averaging 13 at home over his last 5. Just compare that to his last 5 overall. This is a good spot. I think the problem last game was the Pelicans were down, and you saw Zion just take on more of a scoring role. He wasn't dishing. He was just grabbing boards and scoring. If this game stays like at an even pace, there'll be more opportunities for him to dish out assists. I don't want to see them behind because A, his minutes get capped, and B, he goes into scoring mode, which he doesn't get the assist in that way. I want to see a close game here. Back-to-back for the Clippers, though. I wonder if they rest anybody. All right, we got 3 players to look at in this Toronto-Orlando game. So we're going to take a look at Carter's rebounds, sitting at 8.5. Toronto's defense currently allowing the 25th most rebounds per game in the NBA, 45 per game. Carter is projected for 8, -130 to go over. On FanDuel, DraftKings, and PointsBet see it similarly, while Caesars and BetMGM both have this in favor of the over. All 5 books like this in favor of the over. Odds are 130 or over. Last 5 look good. Last 10 look solid. 50% hit rate. Numbers against Toronto, you don't have any numbers this season to go on, so we can just ignore that. Would like to see better projections here, but honestly, the odds are so heavily in favor of the over. This one's going to get bumped up to 9 at some point. So if you like it at 8.5, just don't wait for it to get bumped up. Just play it. If you have any reservations, then stay away from it. But all the things we want in a player prop are here, except for the projections. And I can live with that as long as the odds are in our favor. So that one looks solid. Let's take a look at Gary Harris's threes. This is a popular play on PrizePicks. He's projected for just 1.46 threes, which is below that line of 1.5. Odds are in favor of the under. At least they're in favor of the under on FanDuel. DraftKings also likes the under. BetMGM likes the under. Caesars all like the under. On this one, I honestly was not expecting to see that, especially with this type of production over his last 10 and last 5 games. Head-to-head matchups, one this season, he hit 2. All the game logs are there. All the numbers are there. The odds aren't, and the projections aren't. So you have a decision to make. Which side are you on? Which side of the fence are you on? Are you on the matchup, game log side, or are you on the projection odd side? What is Gary Harris? Is he a shooting guard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. We can't scroll anymore. All right. So 8 out of the last 8 shooting guards that Toronto has faced, 5 have gone over their 3-point prop. Anthony Simons, that is a starter. Matisse Thybulle, he's a role player. Bradley Beal goes under. Klay Thompson, don't know if he's still coming off the bench in this game, but nonetheless, he's still getting starter minutes. He goes over. Moses Moody goes over. Matherin goes over. 5 out of 8 is a really strong percentage in terms of players who have hit this line against the Raptors. I mean, they're not really defending that all that well over the last 10 days. Their percentages are shit in terms of defending threes and percentage. Yet Gary Harris's projection is low, and the books hate this shit. I don't know why. I really don't. If you want to take a stab at this in a flex, you could play worse plays. This one, I just don't know why it's not getting more juice to the over. Is anybody back for Orlando that would cause him to not get minutes or like reduce his role? I mean, is he expected to see limited minutes? Maybe that's something to look into. But from what we're looking at here, this one it's a puzzler for sure. Okay, let's take a look at Kelly O. Points and rebounds sitting at 18.5, 19.5, 19.5. All right. Finds a new home in Toronto, finds a new role in Toronto, gets paid in Toronto, delivers in Toronto. 3 straight games, 21 or more, over 19.5 points and rebounds in all 3 of those games. 5 out of his last 10. Now, this is representative of his time in Toronto, whereas this one is going to have some games in there from Utah where his role was different. So this will kind of muddy up the water. So we just want to look at his last 5 games. These are all in a Raptors uniform. So 4 out of his last 5. You can see the difference that trade made in terms of his production. Both of these games were played as a Utah Jazz. We don't know what his role was here, but at the beginning of the year, he's buried behind some dudes on that depth chart. Not gonna see the same role that he's seeing in Toronto. His projection today is 22.5, so that gives you 3 higher than his line. When we look at the odds, FanDuel gives you a bit more even odds with more juice to the under, less juice to the over. DraftKings sees it in favor of the over. Caesars, BetMGM, PointsBet, and FanDuel are very similar in their lines, where these 3 in the middle are looking at it with 125 or over. 125 or higher to the over. I botched that one. You know what I'm trying to say. They all like the over. Power forwards versus the Orlando Magic. This is a tough matchup. But when we take a look at what power forwards have done in terms of points and rebounds, Dorian Finney-Smith does not go over. Cam Johnson does not go over. Siakam has a strong game, but he doesn't go over. Then we get into some players that have gone over. Toppin goes for 25. Neesmith goes for 21. Isaiah Jackson is coming off the bench. Achua, starter, goes for 29. Kuzma goes for 30. So this is definitely in favor of players going over, but the full picture is that you can see it's a little bit more even when you scroll down. So he's definitely in a good role. He's definitely going to get the minutes, and he's definitely got the upside. The matchup is not there just because Magic is super tough. So another decision to make. Do you want to go with the game logs? Do you want to go with the projections? Or do you want to go with that matchup that says, hey, we're tough. Don't mess with us. If this game does not blow out, I mean, he should stay on the floor. But maybe he gets into foul trouble. Kelly Olynyk likes to get a little handsy, so maybe he gets into foul trouble. Maybe he sees less time on the floor. That's also a possibility. All right. Was that it? Zion, Kelly O, Harris, Carter, Jones. Yeah, we knocked them out. We knocked them out. All right. Let us screenshot these. Let's do another round. Let's do one more round before we dip out of here. I see JR looking at Franz over points. I tell you what, since we're back on PrizePicks, let me just add his points here so I can just fill out this screenshot and I'll just retake it. And since we're already on this game, let's take a look at his points. That way we don't have to revisit the game. Now he's projected for 18, or excuse me, his line is 18.5, but he's projected for just 17 points. The matchup is there for him. We've seen the same thing with Gary Harris. Very bad projections. Odds are slightly in favor of the over on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars. PointsBet does not see it that way, but they do like, it's just even. It's 115 to each side. 4 out of 5 are in favor of the over. This one is not getting as much juice to the over, though. 3 straight games of not getting you 15. He's struggling right now. I mean, on the year, he's averaging 20 points. At some point, players will regress to their average, right? So if they're playing above their head, that's going to come back down. If they're playing below that, then it's bound to bounce back. But he's had some good bounce back spots here. Indiana and Brooklyn, 2 decent bounce back spots. Failed to get it done in those games. This looks bad. But what this does bring is a lower number. So as he continues to slump, this number will continue to dive. If this is where you want to jump on this and say it starts today, I mean, shit, the matchup is there. You can't pick a better matchup than this. So I definitely see the logic in that one. His shot volume has to be there. I mean, his shot volume is there. 6 for 14, 5 for, his threes are shit though. So on the year, he's averaging 5 threes. He's only a 28. He's only a 28% 3-point shooter. That's not good. So maybe there is no positive regression for him with this. Maybe he's just a bad 3-point shooter and there's no way around it. But man, at least over his last 5 games, he 1 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 5. I mean, he's 4 for 12, 17, 20. He's 4 for 24 in his last 5 games. If Franz Wagner is a 28% 3-point shooter, he's only shooting 14% from 3 over his last 5. There's room to improve, even though 28% is kind of bad. 14% is way worse. There's room to improve. Like, there is definitely room for some positive regression here. If you want to take the over on this one, and this is a good spot for him against the Raptors, and his shot starts to fall, I mean, again, there's not a better time to take it. This matchup is prime for him. Surprising though to see those kind of projections though. Those projections are not looking, they're not looking good. But I like the over. If you like the over, I mean, I'm with you on that one just because of what he has done over the course of the year. There's room to bounce back. 31 viewers on the stream. Thank y'all so much for being here. Hit the like button on your way in. If you're new to the stream, say hi in the chat, drop a question. I promise you I'll get to your question, especially since you're new. I'll make it a priority. Jim says, like Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Go for the over. Did he say go for the over also? It's like the hidden track. All right. DF the God. Let's take a look at Boncaro's rebounds. We're going to kick another round of player props off, and then we'll jump off the stream and get on with our day. I'll be posting some plays. I've already posted an underdog slip in the stream, in the Discord. I will also posted. I'll also post some hot. I've been playing a lot more on HOTSTREAK because their lines are just very favorable. So I'll post what I play in the Discord. You can check those out later this afternoon. So we got Paolo Banchero's rebounds. We like Joker's assist. I see Jeremy Sohan over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Carey has a CS2 play for us over maps 1-2 kills for AJTT. That's not that crazy of a name. And that's at 25.5. We're going to take a look at KCP over, dude, come on, man. Over PA. $10.5. All right. We got 6 on the board. All right, here's what we got. We're going right back to Toronto. We got Banchero over rebounds, Wagner over assists. We got Jokic and Sohan in the same game. We'll take a look at their assists and RA. We're not able to dig into CS2 on props.cash, but there are other optimizers that will allow you to research your esports. And then KCP. So we actually will make this a very quick round because 3 are in the same game, the other 2 in the same game. So let's do it. Let's roll. Let's head back over to props.cash. And who are we on right now? Franz? All right. We're just going to meander our ass on down to the assist category and check this out. Now check this shit out. Minus 136 to the over on this one. 1 out of his last 5 games. Got you 6 against the Brooklyn. I almost said Brooklyn Dodgers. That would be some shit, man. If he got you 3 assists, 4 assists, 5 assists against the Brooklyn Dodgers, that's NBA history right there. Over his last 10 games, he was on a nice little roll here. He's dropped down. On the year, he's a 4 assists per game dude. Over his last 5, he's only a 2.4. Over his last 10, he's only a 3.2 assist player. There is room to improve by 2 or more assists in these games. One game against Toronto earlier in the year got you 2. Different Toronto team, right? Different Toronto team. Siakam, Barnes. They're not there anymore. Well, they're not there right now. For Barnes, he's not there right now. Siakam is not there anymore. He's only projected for 3. But FanDuel really likes the over on this one at minus 136. DraftKings is favoring the over at minus 120, but also giving you minus 110 to the under. Caesar sees it similarly, and then PointsBet does like it a bit more than the other 3. Not as much as FanDuel, but as you can see, all 5 books do like the over at minus 120 or more, and FanDuel's the only one not giving you any juice to the under. So it is in a good spot. The matchup is there. Everything applies that we talked about with his points to his assists, matchup, all that stuff. Positive regression is all in play. All right, let's look at Banchero over his rebounds today. So his rebounds are projected at just 6. His line's at 6.5. One game played against again, so just a different team, right? Games played during the first month of the NBA season, that might as well be a completely different season when you compare games played in February, March, April. They happen, you can't ignore them, but oftentimes you're looking at a completely different team 3 months later. When we take a look at his last 10, he does have 4 games where he got you the over. He's only averaging 6. He's only 6.3. He's only averaging 5.6 over his last 5. Now on the year, Banchero is a 6.8 rebounds per game guy. So that's 7. He's underachieving in these past 5 and 10 games. In many of these games, that it's just by 1, right? 1 more rebound here and here that gets him the over. Now you're looking at a 60% hit rate. He's very close in these games. The odds in favor of the over for his rebounds on FanDuel -125, on DraftKings -135, Caesars -130. This is a lot of juice to the over, okay? If you like his rebounds at 6.5, I don't know how much longer they'll be at 6.5. So hopefully you've seen enough information here to make a decision. It's not going to get any lower. I can promise you that. And you're not going to find it any lower on another pick'em site. You might even find it higher on other pick'em sites. So PrizePicks, surprisingly, is offering you the best line here. We can't always say that. Let's skip our ass down to San Antonio, where them big old women live. And let's take a look at Jokic's assist. So -128 to the over on FanDuel. He's gone over this in 5 of his last 10 games. 5 he's gone under. In his last 5 games, he's having a little bit of a struggle getting over this line 2 out of those 5 games. If you are playing the triple-double prop, if you can find the triple-double prop for Jokic, if you have that much confidence in the triple-double prop for him, then you have to take the over on his assists everywhere, because he can't get you a triple-double without 10 assists unless he goes for 10 blocks or 10 steals. So if you like the triple-double for him, then you are just hammering the over on his assist. 4 games played against San Antonio. 1 game played this year, he went for 9. He is only projected for 8.17. Odds like it, right? -128 on FanDuel. DraftKings sees it over at 130. Caesars at -137. All 3 of these books like it at 130 or more with 0 juice to the under. PointsBet is giving you -140. No juice. Actually, none. None of these books like anything to do with the under here. So you got 4 books giving you the over, strong overs. You got game logs, and then you have a triple-double probable. You have a triple-double alert with him that is probable. And he can't get you a triple-double without 10 assists. So this, to me, feels like a good line. Yes, he can always not get this line, but you can say that shit for any player in any game. There's just a lot of information here that does support the over. Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy left hand. Jeremy one hand. That's what they should call his ass, because he shoots his free throws with one hand. We're looking at the over on his rebounds and assists. at 8.5. So right out the gate, boom, minus 130 to the under. They're hitting you in the face with that shit. You like that shit? Boom, minus 130. But his game logs say, wait a minute. Take a look at this. 70% hit rate in his last 10 games, 80% hit rate in his last 5. Caesars is giving you even odds, okay? BetMGM is hammering the under, as is DraftKings, and PointsBet is also liking the under on this one, but they are giving you a drip of juice to the over. Projections look very strong for Sohan at 10. So, head-to-head game against Denver, 1 game this year, he got you 5. What is going to be the deciding factor for you? Is it going to be projections? Is it going to be 10 game logs? Or is it going to be odds and history against Denver that say, you know what, we're fading this one, or we're going to take the under on this one? Unfortunately, it's not unanimous because all the data points are not in alignment. You're getting a little this and a little that. All right. I'm a little torn on this one, but honestly, because the matchup is a little tough for him, I would play this as an under, unless you can find this at like 7.5 or 8 maybe. But at 8.5, he needs 9 against Denver. That's a tough matchup. Let's take a look at KCP over PA. And then we'll wrap this stream up on this Flex Friday on March 15th. Man, I did not realize he had strung together so many games with this type of production. 80% hit rate in his last 10 games. Actually, wait, what am I looking at here? Oh, shit. That couldn't be right. Why is this going back to 2022? Oh, it's not, man. I'm sorry. I thought this was February 2022. I don't know why I thought this was the year 2022. I got so thrown off. Wow. Okay. So these are up to date. 80% hit rate there. 80% hit rate in his last 5. Head-to-head games against San Antonio are fantastic. They're fantastic. Matchup against San Antonio is in your favor if you are an over this prop kind of person. Projection is favorable at 12, 12.5. Now the odds are saying we don't like this shit at 11.5, but lucky for us, it's not at 11.5. 10.5 is getting odds at minus 110, 120 DraftKings, minus 127 on Caesars, and PointsBet doesn't know what to do with this line. At 10.5, it's in play. He scares the shit out of me because he can easily just get phased out of the offense. I've seen it happen so many times, but at least over the last 10 games or so, he has not been phased out of this offense, at least not enough to where he can't get the over. Blocking out all the negativity, blocking out all the fear and the what ifs and all that bullshit, just block all that out. This is a good play for the over. It's hard to do that sometimes, though. All right. And wouldn't you know, he gets bumped up to 11. So we saw it at 11.5. Bad odds. At 11, it's in play because 11 was in play to begin with. At 10.5, he needs 11. If he gets to 11 and he doesn't get you one more rebound or point or assist, then you push. But in the event he gets you 12, then 11, the bump to 11 doesn't really hurt. So unfortunately, that one's been bumped. I hate playing bumps. However, a case can be made at times to play a bump. Not blindly. I think you definitely have to have to research that and make sure you're not talking shit, but sometimes you can make a case for the bump. All right, 6 up and 6 down is what we talked about. Over on Banchero, over on Jokic, triple double alert. You can't get it without the assist. Franz Wagner over his assist. Positive regression for this guy. Jeremy Sohan, you can go over or under. There's a lot of information that leads you to either side, but for this, you know, we'll go with the over. We're gonna take Kerry's word on AGTT, taking the over 25.5 maps, first 2 map kills, and then Pope over 11 got bumped up. Now, listen, if you were like, hey, I don't want to play the bump, then just maybe look to his points and rebounds. Maybe just look to his points and rebounds. Because his points and rebounds are the same. Look, this is his points and assists, 80% hit rate, and these are his points and rebounds. They're the same. I mean, they're the same. So take the lower line. If you don't want to play the bump, take the lower line. Take the lower line. Just like swap them. All right. Fam, man, what is going on? Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you. Links Dubs, what is up? Been down bad these past few days. 1 fucking point or assist. Need my... Oh my God. That's been your story this week. Just missing your points by 1 and just like hooking it. We've all been there. What's up, Ken? More... L. James, Booker points. What's going on, L. James? Are you new here? if he chalks, we're coming for you, Carrie. We know where you post, Carrie. Booker points. Let's take a look at that. Did anybody play the underdog promos yesterday? It was Maxi had a discount, Book, Shay, and who else? Was it just those 3? Booker, Maxi, Shay. There was one more. I played. They all hit, by the way. They all hit, but I went with Booker personally. I liked his line. I thought he'd have a. I thought he'd have a stronger game against the Celtics, but I should have known. Fucking Bradley Beal, him and Jason Tatum being bunk bed buddies, growing up in St. Louis together and shit. They're like best friends, and they always like play each other well, or at least they try to. I should have known that would have been one of his games instead of Booker, but Booker did go over his PRA. What am I not seeing here for Booker? We got Goblin points, we got Demon points, we got Goblin. There are literally no regular numbers for Devin Booker today. What is going on? I don't even know what his point prop was set to. On HOTSTREAK, it's at 24.5. On Underdog, it's at 24.5. Let's just look at it at 24.5, because do you see this shit on PrizePicks? Do you see they just have demons and goblins for Devin Booker? Now, this is a back-to-back for the Suns. He is not even on this. I wonder if he's going to sit today. This is a cake-ass matchup against the Charlotte Hornets. They just played a tough-ass game against the Boston Celtics. Booker played 38 minutes. Beal played 36 minutes. Durant played 34 minutes. Nurkic played 31 minutes. I think we see somebody sit today for the Suns. But let's pull up Devin Booker at 24.5 points. Minus 125 to the under. A drip of juice to the over. He is projected for 28 points. DraftKings sees it evenly. Caesar sees it towards the over. BetMGM likes the under. PointsBet and DraftKings are identical. You're not getting a whole lot of support here for the over. Good matchup, right? Good projections, good matchup. I will say this. If you think Durant sits, if you think Beal sits, I say you smash the over on Devin Booker's points wherever you can play them, because you know as soon as something gets announced, his shit is going to get bumped up or taken off the board. In the event he gets ruled out, then you get a DNP for your slip. So I don't know if you want to wait and see what's going on in Phoenix, or if you just want to take a chance and say, I think Beal sits, because Beal's the one that's the most brittle, right? His ass can't go 3 games without breaking a vertebrae. So maybe Devin Booker is in play just by default. Let's take a look at Wembanyama's blocks for Jim the judge. Jim, are you a real judge? Are you a justice? Are you working the court? I almost asked if you were a justice of the peace. Is that an actual title? All right, let's take a look at Wemby's blocks and steals. Now I know this prop is for underdog, because that's where you play. So Wemby's blocks and steals sitting at 4.5 on the screen right there. It's 4.5 on HOTSTREAK also. Blocks are at 3.5. So let's look at this. So man, 7 out of his last 10 games, back-to-back games with 10 plus. This is what he can do. This is not even like career highlight for him. I'm sure at some point he'll have like 15 blocks or steals, but this is impressive. Head-to-head games against the Spurs. Now, we looked at his threes earlier. We looked at his points earlier. I mean, head-to-head game against the Nuggets. I'm sorry. There are a lot of props you can go with here for Wemby. Hey, gambling. If you're a gambler, if you're a gambling person, lucky 7. That might mean something. It may not. He's projected for 4.36 blocks and steals today. Listen, your odds for blocks and steals will never be identical to odds for rebounds. You're never going to see minus 145 to the over on blocks and steals. Minus 125 with minimal juice under 110. I think those are pretty solid odds on both Caesars and BetMGM. Favorable history against, or favorable, what am I saying here? Good history against the Nuggets. I wasn't going to say favorable matchup, but I mean, Denver's a tough matchup no matter who you are. But good game logs over his last 5 and 10 games too. So you could play this on HOTSTREAK. You could play this on Underdog. What is it on PrizePicks? $4.5. Okay. So yeah, there you go. All right. What else do we have? Any other player props that y'all want to throw in the chat that we can take a look at? While you think about that, let's go back And I want to pull up the expert picks over on Odd Shopper. So we looked at the pick'ems table earlier this morning in the stream, but the experts will basically have their pick of the day kind of. If you're playing point spreads, I mean, it's not just player props, but you'll see a little bit of everything. Jamal Murray over his 21.5 points. BetMGM is offering you those minus 105 odds. Clint Capella under his PRA. We actually saw that in the pick'ems table, and that was also grading out well on PrizePicks. So DraftKings also likes this under. Quickly under his rebounds. Some pretty decent articles also. If you play DraftKings Pick6, check those out. NBA player prop best bets for Friday, March 15th. You want to take a look at this one? Let's peruse. So we looked at George's points earlier today, but let's take a look. So we have quickly player prop. We're just going to scroll down. They're talking about the under 36.5 PRA. We've talked about that one slightly. Cade Cunningham under his assist today against the Heat. Tough matchup. George player prop over. Check this one out. So Keontae George over 3.5 3-pointers made. You talk about the over on his points at 18.5. So according to this player prop breakdown, that's 12 points coming from his threes. So 12 points. He needs 19 points to go over his point prop. So outside of making 4 threes, he has to make 7 additional points. If over 50% of your points are coming from behind the arc and your player prop is grading out well for the over on that one, then you have to like the over on his points at 18.5. So George might be a better play than I actually thought. So if you were looking at the over on his points, this should give you extra confidence, I guess, that you're headed in the right direction with that player prop. That's nice. That's a nice that's a nice prop right there. So you have a couple of player props for George. You go over on his points. You can go over on his 3-pointers made. $18.5 points. So check this out. They're writing up his 3-pointers made at 3.5. Well, that's a demon prop on PrizePicks. If you were to play that, in a 2-pick, what other 2-pick do we like? Let's just pick one we talked about today. So putting George in a 2-pick at the demon 3-point line will increase your payout from a 3x to a 3.25x with that particular build. If you went with Wemby's blocks and steals, same thing. What if you went with George's points over demon points, because those are only 2 higher than his original point. So it's not going to give you a different payout. Looks like 3.25 is your max on the 2-pick if you go with one of his demon plays. Who else did we talk about today? Who else did we like today? You throw Franz assist in there at 3.5. So that increases your payout for a 3x. I wonder why they're different. This is actually giving you a lower number for a 3x, because 3x is typically a 3-pick is typically a 5x. This is giving you a lower number. I wonder why. Well, still just a 3x. Did they change out? Did they change out the payout on this? Oh, no, I'm sorry. 3x, a 3-pick flex. Right, but a 3-pick power is a 5x. Okay. Let's go back to his demon points. All right, so if you would have to throw this in a power play to get the big boost, but it'll be boosted from a 5x to a 5.75. You could play around with this, but it's not all the time that you get a write up on a demon prop. And again, like I said, if you think he goes over 3s, which is 12 points, then you have to like the over on his original line of points. But this is very similar to what we saw with James Harden that one day, where you had the demon only separated by 2 points. He goes over with 21. You got Clarkson out. You got Markkanen out. This kid's been stepping up. You can fill in the blanks. You can definitely run with him as one of your plays and build around it. Just adding that one demon play. Just adding that one demon play, if we were just to fill out a 6-pick, let's just see what this looks like. So adding the one demon play goes from a 25x to just a 26x. You'll have to play around with this for the max payout, but you see what I'm getting at here. All right. What's going on, D? I'll let y'all read that one, but I'm not gonna even read it out loud. Out of respect for D's request there. Oh, underdog just dropped Jeremy Sohan's rebounds and assists to 8. Oh, well, you got a couple ways to look at it, right? It's never like promising when they drop and plays down, but if you already had your eye on it and you were waiting on it to drop, and we just talked about it dropping, you want to play it at 8, which now it's more favorable for the over, you can look at that. And it's back. Never mind, huh? Never mind. Jalen Johnson, demon assists. James White. What's going on? Good morning. I forgot there are like 17 Jalens in the NBA. You got to specify here when you type that in. Demon assist at 4.5. If you ran a 2-pick, that's a very attractive payout. 5x on a 2-pick, 20 gets you 100. But you can obviously see the payout boost difference when you play demons. The more of them you play, the bigger boost you get. But a lot of them are very risky. I just think that George play is really strong. Let's look. We talked about Jalen Johnson's assist earlier at 3.5, and they were grading out pretty well. So it was projected for 4.41 assists today. The projections look good, and I think it was, for me, it was just the odds. I wasn't seeing a ton of. There's just a lot of even, like 150. You see what I'm saying? Like they're just kind of like in the middle here. Sometimes those are the best plays, though, to be honest with you. If you like the over on his 3.5 assists, he needs 5 to get the demon. He's done that in 3 of his last 10 games. He's done it in 2 of his last 5 games. Demons are risky for a reason, so you already know that. You throw that in the 2 pick and you could just sweat that one out for a 5x. Nice little 5x on PrizePicks. I got you, James. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you being here. What's up, Wimby Bets? What's your play of the day? What's your play of the day? Let's talk about plays of the day. Then we'll wrap this up. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. If you have a play of the day, obviously we won't spend time on plays of the day if you don't have any, but what do y'all have for plays of the day? Donnell, what's up, man? He says the depressed Cowboys. Cowboys are just they traded Pollard. They traded Pollard or they let him walk? A lot of free agency has been fun so far in the NFL. There's been a lot of movement, a lot of big names moving too. That's I love a busy offseason like this. Let's see here. Let's let him walk. Wonder if they were just disappointed in his production. I don't know. Now he's in Tennessee. He's in Tennessee. Who else did they sign in Tennessee? They're building out a nice receiving core in Tennessee. They're going to try to emulate that Chargers offense. That might be a fun offense next year. All right, plays of the day. Let's go back to PrizePicks real quick. I've been on Colin Sexton. I don't like his shit being bumped to 23 though. I gotta be honest with you. I got it at 21.5. To see it bumped up twice already is I hate that. D Johnson likes Olenek over points. All right, play of the day number 1. We got. Let's go ahead and throw it out on the board. Do we want to leave this Jalen Johnson rebound assist demon in here for play of the day, or we want to take that out? I don't know if that was your play of the day, James. We can leave that up as your play of the day, or we can take it down. Anything changed in our popular plays? Not really. Not really. Okay. Jim says his Giants. Oh, I know. No Barkley. They traded Barkley away to the Eagles. A lot of movement in the AFC, in the NFC though. In the NFC, is it NFC East? Cowboys and Giants, yeah. I like this Jokic assist, to be honest with you. It wasn't a play that I was looking at earlier when I was doing my cheat sheets, but I did like the over on his rebounds and assists the night before when they played, and he hooked it at 20. I often talk about going right back to a player after they've, after they didn't hit for you. We've already talked about his upside for triple-double, and he can't get a triple-double without the assist. So I'm going to put Jokic as my play of the day, 8.5 assists. We got Kelly O. with his points. We're going to keep Jalen Johnson on there for his demon assist. And I'm going to keep Keontae George in there over his 3.5 3-pointers made demon prop. Again, it's not very often that you see a write-up for a prop at 3.5, or for a prop that's a payout boost. So that really caught my eye. If you don't like George's point or his 3-pointers, then you can definitely look to his just normal point line at 18.5. But that's what I have right here. We got Jokic over assists. We got Kelly O with his points. We got Jalen Johnson over demon assist. And we got Keontae George over his demon 3-pointers made. I will throw these over in the Discord. Any last minute, last seconds player props y'all want to talk about? There is a gnat in my eye. But any last minute player props you want to talk about before we dip out on this Friday? We got Flex Friday upon us. Building out a protected play today, so I'll share that over in the Discord. That's already available to you on PrizePicks, so make sure you opt in, check the box, and submit your slip. That is the only promo I see right now, so nothing different from your usual Friday layout over on PrizePicks. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's live stream. Appreciate y'all being here an hour and 48 minutes into the stream. Hit the like button on your way out if you did not get a chance to hit that on your way in. I don't say this every Friday, but I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with a live stream. We don't typically do Saturday live streams, but moving forward, that will be the new schedule in terms of our live streams, taking Thursdays off, replacing Thursday with Saturday so that we don't have too much time that passes in between the weekend and week, and also helps me keep in touch with everything over the weekend. So one last player prop. JR snuck that in before we dipped out. We want to check out Nurkic over points against the Charlotte Hornets, aka the Charlotte Bobcats. His points right now. JR, what are his points? Because they're doing the same thing. I don't know if this is so. Look, Demon Goblin. There is no middle. There is no OG lines. I am very confused as to why they're doing this for the Phoenix Suns. Like every single player prop, that tells me somebody's sitting today. That tells me somebody's sitting today. Something's going on in Phoenix. Can't even play the lines on PrizePicks. Well, I feel like if something was going on in Phoenix, we would see similar situations on different pick'em sites where they just wouldn't have player props up for this team. But on Underdog, Nurkic's points are at 10.5. I've never seen that before for a whole team where they literally just exclude the original player prop line and only give you payout decreasing and payout increase props. 10.5 points for Nurk. 1 in his last 5 games, 4 in his last 10 games. Matchup against the Hornets. 1 game this year, he went for 24 points. He is projected for 13 points. Obviously, the matchup is there. We like the matchup against the Hornets. odds are pretty they're pretty uniformed across the market. Minus 120, minus 120 on both MGM and DraftKings, with minus 110 to the under. Even line on Caesars and even line on PointsBet. If somebody does sit today, Nurkic's points will get bumped up to about 12.5, maybe more. This by far will be the lowest line you see all day for him. So if you want to be proactive and just throw this in a slip, in the event somebody gets ruled out, then you're looking pretty good. And then that way you can lock in that value. Yeah, it's 10.5. It's just not 10.5 on PrizePicks for some weird ass reason. Dalton points, Tennessee. Dalton next, 22.5 points. It's our first college basketball prop today. Probably easier if I just search. There you go. All right. What are we looking at here? 50% in his last 10 games, 80% in his last 5 games, in one game played against Mississippi State. He has gone over with 28 points. Projected for just 22 points today. When we look at the odds, BetMGM has this just very funny lines at 105 to each side. Consensus likes the over. DraftKings as well. Caesars is giving you more in favor of the over. PointsBet at minus 120. Vandal giving you those even lines. You have enough books here that like the over, although all of them are giving you some juice to the under. So it's not like this heavy favorite. Last 5 look much better than his last 10. He's scoring well over 28 points in those games on the average, and then his one game against Mississippi State, he's gone over. So that one looks solid. What's going on, Ruben? Good morning. We're just about to dip out, man, if you're just joining us, but we'll be back tomorrow. Live stream tomorrow. I don't know how many player props we knocked out. We knocked out well over 30 player props today. Well over 30 player props. We spent a little time kind of constructing a demon lineup with the George points or George 3-pointers made. You can also consider Jalen Johnson's 4.5 assists as a demon prop to throw in for a payout boost. If you are opting into your Flex Friday today, it's up to you. It's your money. But because it is protected, it's a pretty strong opportunity to include a demon or two into your slip if you feel good about them, as they are riskier, but with the protected option, I mean, it's just a strong opportunity to take advantage of some payout boosts here with your protected slip. So that's one way you can play it, or you can play it in a completely different way. But however you decide to play your protected play today, I wish you the best of luck. Sub up to the channel. Consider subbing up to the channel. I'll never tell you what to do. I'll ask for your support, though. Consider subbing up to the channel. Hit that like button on your way out, and consider sharing my channel with somebody you know. I'll be providing my slips in the Discord later today. Hopefully all your player props hit. We'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow if they do. Or our turd of the day segment will run a little longer because everybody fucked up our slip. But either way, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. live stream for a Saturday edition of the Player Prop Talk. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll let that outro roll a little bit more for you. But until tomorrow's live stream, I wish everybody best of luck. Have a great Friday, and Chavez is out.